Alright y'all, today's the day. We're going to try to take this 17 HMR out to 500 yards. Uh, I'm going to take a minute to talk about how I got to this point for people that maybe hadn't watched or don't know. If you don't care about all the talking, I'm fixing to get long-winded. I'll put a timestamp up on the screen and you can skip straight to the shooting. So how I got to this point, well, first off, I bought this gun about 10 years ago as a Savage 93R17. It's the BVES model, which is top of the line trim. It's got a Monte Carlo laminated wood stock. It's got a floating, spiral fluted, stainless bull barrel. And that's about what you get out of the top of the line there. And when I bought this gun, I just put a regular Nikon 3x9x40 Pro Staff scope on it, common scope, and played around with this thing at 100 yards when I first bought it, and it shot really good. It pieces holes together at 100 yards, so anywhere from a 1/4 inch group for 3 shots up to a 1/2 inch group for 5 shots, and that's on the better end. You know, it does shoot worse than that with certain ammos and certain conditions, but it's 1/4 inch capable with 3 shots at 100 yards. So knew that ever since I had it. Stayed in the closet a long time. One day, about I'd say 6 months ago, I seen some crows out behind my house, and looking back now after owning a rangefinder and understanding how far things are better, that crow was probably at 180 yards, and I dug this thing out of the closet and put a bullet in it and said, I'm gonna take a shot at that crow. Missed it, of course. I was shooting off a tack driver bag. Missed it by a lot. I mean, when I say a lot, 5 or 6 crow lengths. So missed it. And I didn't like that. I said, I know this gun. It pieces bullet holes together at 100. I know I can hit a crow with it. So said, I'm gonna start shooting this thing and see what's up, see what's going on. Got it out at 100 yards. Sure enough, it's still doing the same thing. It's piecing holes together, but of course it was probably off from sitting in the closet. I re-zeroed it, and yeah, just got to wanting more precision no matter what. And I said, well, that crow was probably at 180 yards. I'm gonna shoot it at 180 yards, see what happens. Pushed it out to 180 yards, and that's when I learned about parallax. Most regular hunting scopes with capped turrets have no parallax adjustment. And parallax is basically a yardage adjustment on your scope. Depending on where you hold your eye behind the scope, it can change where your crosshair is on the target if your parallax is not set correctly. So at 175 yards with my Nikon on there, I was doing good to hit an 8-inch, 10-inch plate. And that's terrible for what I know this gun's capable of doing. So I figured that out, and I got in the market for a scope that was built for the job that I wanted to do, and settled on this Arkin EP5. I had it narrowed down to 2 scopes. It's between the Arkin EP5 and the Bushnell ED Match Pro. This scope come in at $600, rings and everything included, and the Bushnell was $750 just bare scope. And I also heard that Bushnell is very hard to get in touch with their customer service. If you do have a problem, good luck getting them to get on the horn and get you fixed, where Arkin has really good customer service. So for those reasons, I went with Arkin. Plus, this is a $800 rifle, $600 scope. I didn't want to put a $1,500 scope on $800 rifle. But I have seen that in my YouTube searches trying to find a scope. There's people with $4,000 or $5,000 rifles with this scope sitting on top, and it's doing the job. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. It's really built like a more expensive scope. But I got me a scope on there that was built for the job and started shooting good groups at 175. Well, then I got on the kick where I got to try every ammo that is offered for 17. I've got to test every ammo, and I did that. Did a lot of testing with all different ammos at 100 yards. Found out that this gun likes the cheapest ammo you can buy, which is Remington 20 grain jacketed soft point, $14 a box where I live, so that's good that it likes the cheapest ammo. So I've did a lot of shooting. I've in the last video I shot out to 200 yards. Y'all seen those results. If you didn't, go back and watch that. But today we're going for 500 yards. And no, I'm not just gonna sit here on this tripod and shoot 500 yards first time. I know that's what y'all are thinking. Gonna start at 100 yards and confirm my zero. And then I'm probably gonna skip out to about 250 or 300 and get on paper, and then we'll start going till we get to 500. I think I got something like 70 or 80 rounds, so maybe we can get it done in that. We're looking, my goal is to see what kind of group this thing will shoot at 500 yards. So I'm gonna go get a big car hood, set that up out there, big piece of paper on it. That way we're not wasting bullets. We catch our bullets and see where they're landing. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I'm gonna get everything set up. We're gonna try her at 500 yards. This little bitty 17, that's one reason I hadn't made the video yet. It's been real windy in North Mississippi, and wind really affects this little 17. And this thing could do some weird stuff at 500 yards. I don't know, I hadn't ever really shot it there, but it's running out of velocity. The bullet could start doing a weird spiral like a badly thrown football, or it could start tipping end over end. I don't know. I don't think it will, because I've seen people do it, very few people, but I have seen some on YouTube shooting 500 to 1,000 yards with these. And that's the challenge, because a 500 yard shot with a 17 is, somebody out there that's smarter than me can do the math, but it's well over 1,000 yard shot with a high powered cartridge. So also another motivator to get this video done is I bought a real long range unit. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but this scope is coming off the 17 and going on that gun, and I'm going to revert this gun back to a regular hunting rifle. I'm going to put a regular hunting scope on it. Bipod's coming off. It's getting lightweight again. I've had my fun with it, target shooting. I may do it again in the future, but I want to be able to take this gun hunting. Right now it's in a configuration that's too heavy for practical hunting. Other than shooting off something like this, you could do it, but gonna take this scope and put it on the new gadget. Y'all stay tuned, because I'm gonna be making a video on that gun just as soon as I can. It's the creme de la creme is all I can say about it. And we only got 650 yards to shoot right here, which is going to probably be a cakewalk for the other gun, but almost to that corner down there. The furthest point we can see from here is 650. 500 is going to be most of that. So I'm going to get some stuff set up, and I'll get back with you. All right, I've been off camera trying to rough things in to get ready to shoot that far. My plan was to shoot at 100 and confirm zero, but where I've set up across the road here, there's a slope in the ground, and I can't get prone and see at 100. I had to shoot at least 165 and had to come to a different spot to do that on this side of the road. I already got all my stuff up here, so I wasn't loading up and going back to my side of the road. The 500 yards is going to be pretty challenging today, for the fact the mirage in my scope is terrible. Mirage is like the effect that the sun rays play on looking through glass. It's vibrating really hard even at 165. So I shot 3 shots at 165, and you can see 1, 2, 3. That's about a 2-inch group, which is not near as good as what I've done in the past. I have shot almost a 1/4-inch group at 175 one time, but that's all right. We're still gonna fight against it. We're gonna push it on out there. Guess we'll go about 300 yards now. Be wearing my earmuffs. Guess I'll put them on next round. Well, down here at the target, this is almost, the results are almost bad enough I don't even want to show y'all. Like I said, I shot at 238 yards the other day off my back porch and shot a 2-inch group. This is only 62 yards further, but I shot a, shoot, I don't know. We got 1, 2, 3, that's probably more than a foot group. I mean, that's just awful. So we got one hole there, one hole there, one hole there, and that's more than 12-inch group. So I've really got to figure something out. I wish I could get y'all an image of what I'm seeing through the scope. This whole target right here is just vibrating. It's just all sitting there vibrating like that because of the sun rays. So definitely a lot more challenging than I thought. I may have to back the zoom off, or I don't know. I've got to do something different. I think I'm gonna put a bigger target up on the hood and see if that helps. I'm gonna shoot at it and see what happens. All right, I'm out here at the target, kind of pissing in the wind at this point, so to speak. Weed eated some more in front of my gun to make sure I wasn't clipping any twigs on the way out here. Other than that, I really didn't change nothing. Put a bigger target up, made sure everything was good. But normally when I shoot, I go through these motions working up to pulling the trigger, and by the time I pull the trigger, I can tell if it was a good squeeze or not, or if I was holding good and steady. But I'm telling you, the image in my scope is vibrating so hard, I can't even tell if I'm holding steady or not. I don't know if it's because of the angle I'm shooting at to the sun, or if it's because it's like blue clear skies today, not a drop of overcast, or what, but I cannot fight the mirage, hardly. We did a little better. We shot, I believe, 1, 2, 3, which is, that's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, a little over a 3-inch group. So I mean, that's better, but the only reason I was able to do that is because I put a bigger target up, and I kind of used these bars of my, I didn't even use my dot in my reticle. I used the whole box of the reticle to hold it on this box the best I could. So I'm not even really aiming at a point of impact. I'm just aiming, trying to hold my box with this box. But that's still, I mean, I have higher expectations than that. So I may wait until later in the evening to where I can finally not be fighting the picture just sitting there bouncing like that the whole time. Like this target in my scope is sitting there going like that because the rays of the sun. So I don't know, I may scoot it out to 500 yards and take a shot or two just for shits and giggles, and we'll see how much better it gets later. I don't know, I almost feel like I'm gonna be wasting ammo right now, because I mean, that's not bad at 300 yards, 1, 2, 3, but I know, I'm telling y'all guys, this combination, this gun can do better than that, because I shot a group that was 3 shots like this at 200 yards. You can't tell me it opens up from that to that at 300 yards. I know better. Thought the conditions were going to be good today, and they are, other than the clear blue sky. And that sun over there is playing tricks on this target. All right, y'all, I'm back out here. It's about 2 hours later. It's about 3 o'clock in the evening. I had to figure some things out off camera. I have been shooting off camera. I had to go help a friend do something. Been doing some other stuff, went home and ate. Killed about 2 hours of time. But I figured out I had to elevate my shooting position. I had to shoot out the back of a truck. Just being on the ground, this ground for about 40 yards is level, and then it drops off into that field out there where I'm shooting. So being that close to the ground was just creating way too much mirage. Couldn't even see the colors of my target really. It's just vibrating the picture so bad through the scope. As y'all seen probably already, I shot a 13 inch group at 300 yards. Well, off camera just now, a while ago, I don't have a witness because I didn't record it, but I just shot a 1.5 inch group at 300 yards, which is half MOA, so I'm pretty comfortable now moving forward. Time is of the essence right now. The wind's better than it was earlier. The sun's better than it was earlier. So I'm going to get to shooting and try to get this 500 yard shot pulled off. 500 yard group rather. I'm going to go down there and I'll show you the group I just shot, and then I'll move us back to 400 yards. Alright, out here at the 300 yard target, I'll show y'all real quick what I've shot so far and map it out for you, all the bullet holes. Here was a shot from the first group. One of the shots is covered under the paper. Here's the third shot. That was that 13 inch group I shot earlier, first thing at 300 yards. This 1, 2, 3 is a group I shot off the top of my side-by-side. And this 1, 2, 3 right here was a group I shot off the ground right before I took the break earlier. And this is a group right here, 1, 2, 3. Must have pulled one or something. Those two are nice, but I don't know what the crap that is down there. That's another 13 inch group. But the last group I shot, guys, is 1, 2, 3. That is a 2 bullet hole. See, that's perfect circle, perfect circle, perfect circle. That's not a perfect circle. I'll show you from the back. You got all these perfect circles right here, perfect circles. And you got that 2 bullets went through that one hole. And that's my 1.5 inch group right here. 1, 2, 3. But I need to move it over. It's almost right on elevation. I may come 1 click down, but I got to get it way over left. But gonna get everything set up at 400 yards while the conditions are right. I'm in a hurry. All right, got her set up at 400 yards. I am 108 inches is how far it's gonna fall. About 30 MOA high on my scope on elevation. Let's see if we can get her close to the target. Get a group, got a fresh target down there. Like Ricky Bobby said, with all due respect, I'm fixing to do some driving. Shoot. All right, y'all, out here at 400 yards at the target, really working against time. Everything that can go wrong has went wrong. My screw came out of my top turn on my scope. I shot a 3-shot group at 400 that was too high because I calculated wrong. Just things are going wrong, but I got something on the hood at 400 here. That's a 3-shot group at 400. You're talking 1 inch, under a 2-inch group at 300. But still half MOA. That's pretty cool. That bullet didn't make it through the hood. It's kind of in there sideways. But let's see here. I can hold her still. A little over a 2-inch group. Still really good at 400. I'm gonna try to lower it down to where it's supposed to be. We're 13.5 inches high. I don't know how far left, but I'll calculate it. I'm gonna try to put that in the scope and then I guess shoot a quick group on paper and then move it out to 500, or I can move it out to 500 right now and go for it. I think I'm gonna move it out to 500 right now and go for it because I got about 20 minutes left before I gotta do something, so I've gotta go for it. So I'll be back. Well, found the limit of a 17 HMR. Somewhere between 400 and 500 yards is the physical limit of my gun. Here's a 3-shot group at 400 yards. 1, 2, 3. I measured that. That's a shade over a 2-inch group at 400. Now at 500 yards, you got 1, 2, 3. And I did it again just to make sure and got 1, 2, 3. They're hard to see because they're dense, but you got 1 dent right there, 2 dent, 3 dent. So shooting about a 3-foot group at 500 and shooting a 2-inch group at 400. So that tells me that the bullet's starting to flip end over end and knuckleball and all kind of weird stuff. It's losing velocity somewhere between 400 and 500 and doing a knuckleball. So that's the limit, 400 yards.